Hello, friend. Welcome to History ZZZ. Get comfortable. Let your body settle into wherever you are resting. Let your shoulders drop. Let your hands go still. Take one slow breath in and let it go. Tonight, I want to take you to the oldest living city on Earth. Not the oldest ruins. The oldest city that is still alive, still inhabited, still functioning, still doing what cities do. Close your eyes and imagine a river so wide you cannot see across it in the mist. The Ganges in northern India, and on its western bank, built into terraces of stone descending to the water, a city that has been here for more than 3,000 years without interruption. Varanasi, also called Kashi, the city of light, also called Benares. Whatever you call it, tonight on the river, 10,000 oil lamps are floating. Come. How old is Varanasi? The answer depends on what you count as the city's beginning. Archaeological evidence suggests continuous settlement here for at least 3,000 years, from roughly 1000 BCE. But local tradition says far older. The Vedic texts, among the oldest literature in any language, mention Kashi as a city of importance. Mark Twain, who visited in 1896, wrote, "Benares is older than history, older than tradition, older even than legend, and looks twice as old as all of them put together." When the Buddha preached his first sermon, he went to nearby Sarnath, 5 miles from the center of Varanasi. That was approximately 528 BCE. Varanasi was already ancient then. Athens was founded around 700 BCE. Varanasi predates it. Rome was founded around 753 BCE. Varanasi was old when Rome was new. The Ganges has been flowing past this city for so long that the geology of the riverbank has changed. The river has shifted. The city has moved its ghats accordingly. The city endures. The ghats are the defining feature of Varanasi. Ghat is a Sanskrit word meaning steps leading to a river. In Varanasi, 87 ghats line the western bank of the Ganges for a stretch of roughly 4 miles, creating a continuous stone staircase descending from the city's maze of narrow lanes to the river. Each ghat has its own character and purpose. Some are bathing ghats, where pilgrims come to immerse themselves in the sacred waters, to ritually purify, to pray. In the early morning, thousands of people line the steps, the water rising and falling as they enter and exit. Some are cremation ghats, Manikarnika and Harishchandra, where funeral pyres burn 24 hours a day every day as they have for centuries. The smoke rises constantly. In Hindu tradition, to be cremated at these ghats at the edge of the sacred river is the highest blessing. Tonight, most ghats are quiet by their daytime standards. But the cremation ghats never stop. The fires never go out. The Ganges. No river on earth carries the weight of meaning that the Ganges carries. In Hindu cosmology, the Ganges is not simply a river. It is Ganga Mata, Mother Ganga, a goddess who descended from heaven to earth through the matted hair of Shiva, softening her fall so she would not flood the world. The water of the Ganges is called Gangajal, and it is considered self-purifying and eternally pure regardless of what is put into it. This is faith, not chemistry. The chemistry tells a different story. But the faith has sustained a civilization for 3,000 years, and the river has given that civilization its water, its fish, its agriculture, its monsoon floods that renew the floodplain every year. Tonight the river is dark and wide and slow. The current is strong in the middle. The Ganges is not a small river, but here against the Varanasi bank, it moves in long eddies, catching the lamplight from the ghats and turning it into moving gold. The river does not know it is sacred, it just moves toward the sea. Every evening at sunset and again at dawn, the Ganga Arti is performed at Dashashwamedh Ghat. Arti is a Hindu ritual of offering light. Priests standing on the ghat steps, holding large brass lamps with multiple flames, performing synchronized movements as they offer the light to the river, to the goddess Ganga, to the divine presence in the sacred water. The ceremony has been performed here every day for centuries. Through floods and droughts and empires and independence and everything else, the Ganga Arti happens at sunset. Tonight's ceremony has already been performed. The priests have returned to their duties. The crowds that gather, hundreds, thousands of pilgrims and tourists, have dispersed into the city's lanes. But the memory of the lamplight lingers on the river, and tomorrow at sunrise, without fail, the brass lamps will be lit again. Behind the ghats, the city is a labyrinth. The lanes of Varanasi, called galis, are among the narrowest in the world. Some are barely wide enough for two people to pass each other sideways. They twist and turn in patterns that evolved over centuries without any plan, following the logic of property lines and water channels and the paths that traders and pilgrims wore into the earth. The lanes are full of life, silk weavers. Varanasi has been famous for its silk for 2,000 years. Sweet shops selling the city's famous pan, betel leaf preparations, and its milk sweets. Temple after temple after temple, sometimes 3 in a row on the same alley, each with a different deity, each with flowers and bells and incense. At night the lanes are darker but not empty. The silk weavers sometimes work late, the handlooms run in the lamplight. The sweet shops close but leave their fragrance in the air. A cow moves slowly down the lane, unimpressed by anything. The lanes of Varanasi at night smell of incense and flowers and warm stone and something sweet and something animal and something old. It is a smell unlike anything else on earth. Varanasi silk is 2,000 years old. The city's weavers produce Banarasi silk, fabric so fine that folded garments can be pulled through a finger ring. The patterns are elaborate, gold and silver zari thread woven into floral and geometric designs that take weeks or months to complete. A single high-end Banarasi wedding sari, the kind worn by brides across the subcontinent, might take 2 weavers 6 months to make. Tonight, in a workshop near the Vishwanath temple, a weaver is at his loom. He is working on a wedding order. Someone's daughter, somewhere, will wear this cloth on the most important day of her life. He doesn't know her. He knows the cloth. The loom clacks in the narrow room. The gold thread catches the lamp. His hands move with the automatic precision of a skill passed from father to son for 30 generations. Outside, the city breathes. Inside, the silk accumulates, thread by thread, building its golden pattern in the dark. On the river at night, the boatmen are at work. Not all the boats are at rest. Some carry late pilgrims who want to see the ghats from the water. The perspective from the river looking back at the city is one of the great sights of India. The terraced ghats, the temple spires, the lamplight, all reflected in the dark water. The boatmen of Varanasi have been on this river for generations. They know the currents and the shoals and the rhythm of the river at every time of year. The monsoon swells that bring the water up the ghat steps, the dry season when the sandbanks emerge. Tonight a boatman is rowing a family from Rajasthan who have come on a pilgrimage. The grandmother in the group has made this journey her whole life. She is 82 and she is finally here. She trails her hand in the water. She says nothing. Some experiences do not require words. Varanasi has been a center of learning for as long as it has been a city. The Buddha came here. The philosopher Adi Shankaracharya came here in the 8th century CE and composed some of his most important works. Tulsi Das, the the poet who wrote the Ramcharitmanas, a retelling of the Ramayana in the vernacular Hindi language that made the epic available to ordinary people, lived in Varanasi. Kabir, the 15th century mystic poet who synthesized Hindu and Muslim devotional traditions in verses that still move people today, was from Varanasi. His dohas, short two-line poems of profound simplicity, are still quoted in Indian conversation. Tonight, in a narrow house near the Panchganga Ghat, a scholar of Sanskrit is working late. He is not famous. He teaches students who come from across India to study the ancient texts. He has been doing this for 40 years. He is reading a text he has read 100 times before and finding, as always, something he had not noticed. This is what Varanasi does. It keeps teaching. At Manikarnika Ghat, the fire never goes out. The cremation ghat has been burning for centuries, some say millennia. The main fire, called the Anadi fire, is said to have been burning continuously since before recorded time. Whether this is literally true or a sacred story, the fire is real and it burns tonight, as it burns every night. In Hindu tradition, the cremation grounds are not places of fear. They are sacred. Lord Shiva himself is said to dwell in the cremation grounds, smeared with ash, meditating on the nature of existence. The Dams, the untouchable caste whose hereditary role is to tend these fires and assist with cremations, have performed this work for generations. It is considered both ritually impure and spiritually essential. They are indispensable. Tonight, pyres are burning at Manikarnika. A family stands nearby, performing the rites. This is not grief turned away from, it is grief walked toward, held in ritual, given structure and meaning. The smoke rises toward the stars. The fire has been burning since before the stars had names. Varanasi is a city of music. It has been for as long as it has been a city of philosophy and silk. The Banaras Gharana, the Varanasi school of Hindustani classical music, is one of the great musical traditions of the world, producing virtuosos of the sitar, sarod, tabla, and sitar. Ravi Shankar, who introduced Indian classical music to the world through his collaborations with Western artists and his performances at the Concert for Bangladesh and countless other stages, trained in the Banaras tradition. Tonight, somewhere in the lanes behind Asi Ghat, a tabla player is practicing. Not performing, practicing. The tabla is a pair of hand drums, and mastery requires years of daily practice building vocabulary of strokes and combinations called bowls. The sound carries through the stone walls into the lane. Someone stops to listen. The rhythm is complex and precise and also somehow effortless, like water finding its level. The tabla speaks in a language older than the English language. The listener doesn't know the technical names of the strokes. It doesn't matter. The body understands rhythm before the mind names it. Pilgrims have been coming to Varanasi since before the city had its current name. They come to bathe in the Ganges. They come to die in Kashi. They come to pray at the Kashi Vishwanath temple, one of the 12 Jyotirlinga temples dedicated to Shiva, considered among the most sacred places in Hinduism. Tonight, a family from Kerala, the southernmost state of India, 1,000 miles from here, is sleeping in a dharamshala, a pilgrim rest house. They have been traveling for 3 days. They arrived this afternoon, bathed in the Ganges at sunset, and attended the Ganga Arti ceremony. The grandmother, 79, is asleep on a narrow cot. She made this same journey 50 years ago with her own grandmother, who made it 30 years before that with her mother. The pilgrimage is the river, and the river is the family, and the family is the pilgrimage. She is asleep. Her face is peaceful. She has been trying to get back here her whole life. She is here, Before the city wakes, there is a pause. In the hour before dawn, Varanasi has its quietest moment. The night's pilgrims and boatmen are mostly at rest. The dawn ritual is not yet begun. The Ganga Aarti of the morning is still an hour away. In this pause, the river has the city to itself. The Ganges moves in the dark, carrying silt from the Himalayas, the runoff of the monsoon season that ended months ago, the water of a million prayers and a million baths and a million ash scatterings and offerings of flowers. The far bank is still invisible in the dark. The river is wide enough that the eastern horizon seems to float, a thin gray line, not yet the sun, just the promise of it. The first birds are beginning, a crow somewhere on a temple roof, then another, then the slow gathering of sound that is morning arriving in Varanasi, the same morning that has arrived on this riverbank every day for 3,000 years. Let the city rest, the oldest city still living, the silk weaver whose hands build gold in the lamplight, the boatman whose grandmother taught him the river's currents, the grandmother from Kerala who has been trying to return here for 50 years, the scholar reading a text he has read 100 times, and the river which has been here longer than any of them, carrying all of it downstream toward the sea. Varanasi does not stop. It does not close. The fires at Manikarnika are burning, the river is moving, the city is dreaming, you are dreaming. Good night from the city of light, good night. Every morning at the flower market, the marigolds arrive. Before sunrise, the vendors have already set up mountains of marigolds, orange and yellow and deep gold, threaded into garlands for the temples, for the river offerings, for the ceremonies that will happen all day in this city. Varanasi runs on marigolds. They are given to every deity. They are floated on the river in leaf boats as offerings. They are placed at the feet of sadhus. They are strewn before important visitors. They are used at weddings and funerals and births and ordinations. The smell of marigolds is the smell of Varanasi. Tonight the flower market is quiet. Tomorrow's flowers have not yet arrived from the farms. The stalls are empty, or nearly. But in a few hours the first carts will come in from the countryside, loaded with the orange and gold that will fill the day. The city breathes its current breath and waits for the marigolds. The sadhus of Varanasi are another category entirely. Sadhu means holy man, a person who has renounced worldly life to pursue spiritual practice and liberation. Varanasi has more sadhus per square mile than anywhere else on earth. They come in every flavor of Hindu renunciation. Some are devoted to Shiva, whose city this is, smeared with ash, wearing matted locks, carrying tridents. Some are Vaishnavas, devotees of Vishnu, wearing white and yellow. Some sit in meditation at the ghats from before dawn to after dark. Some travel constantly, appearing in one place and then another with the unpredictability of rivers. Tonight, one sadhu sits at Asi Ghat, near the confluence of the Asi stream and the Ganges. He has been sitting here in approximately the same posture since before the Ganga Aarti. He will still be sitting here when the dawn Aarti begins. He is doing something that looks like nothing. He would say he is doing everything. Think about what 3,000 years means. Every generation that has ever lived in this city has seen this river, has heard these temple bells, has smelled the incense and the marigolds and the river. The grandmothers of grandmothers of grandmothers of the silk weavers working tonight learned their craft in this city. The pilgrims who sleep tonight in the dharamshalas are making the same journey their ancestors made when the pilgrimage route was different, when the ghats were different, when the temples were different, but when the river was the same river and the God was the same God, and the need that brought them here was the same need. Continuity is not the absence of change. Everything in Varanasi has changed many times. The temples have been built and destroyed and rebuilt. The city has been sacked and recovered. The population has grown from thousands to millions. But the river is the river. And people have been coming to it every morning for 3,000 years. That is what continuity actually is. The city is called Kashi, the city of light, not because of its lamps, though the lamps are real. In Hindu cosmology, Kashi is the place where the divine light, the Jyoti, is always present, where Shiva himself illuminates the liberation of those who die here, whispering the Taraka mantra into the ear of the dying, releasing them from the cycle of rebirth. The city of light, then, is not lit by oil. It is lit by something older than oil, older than fire, older than the river. Whether or not you hold this cosmology, there is something in Varanasi that every visitor notices. A quality of intensity, of aliveness, of everything being somehow more present than usual. It may be the combination of extreme heat and extreme holiness, and extreme life and extreme death all in the same narrow lanes. It may be something else. The city shines anyway. Good night from the city of light. Let the river carry you. The Ganges has been carrying things for a long time. It will carry tonight a little further, and tomorrow it will still be carrying, and long after you and I and the silk weavers and the scholars and the sadhus are gone, it will still be carrying. Rest in that. The river does not tire, the city does not close, the light does not go out. You are safe. You can rest. Good night. The night passes over Varanasi. The stars move. The river moves. The city of 3,000 years rests in the dark between midnight and dawn. Good night. Good night from Varanasi. Good night from the river. Good night. Thank you for spending this night in Varanasi. History ZZZ has many more worlds waiting for you. The House of Wisdom in Baghdad, the mystery of the Nazca Lines, the court of Heian Kyoto, ancient Rome, ancient Athens. Wherever you would like to rest tonight, we have a world for you. Sleep well wherever you are. History ZZZ.